I have been off of social media for 4 years now. And so in true anniversary tradition, I like to record a video with a testimony just of the journey. So from today, which would be the start of year 4, from day 1 to also year 4 to year 3. So, maybe what has happened or changed in the past 1 year. And so they're all part of the same thing, but there are so many fascinating finds that continue to solidify, and then also just new observations. So I am behind my pink wall here at the studio. The year before that, I was here in front of the green wall. Before that, this lovely blue wall. Before that, the lovely peach wall. And the year before that, we were in my kitchen at my house. So, 4 years having left social media. I have recorded other videos that are fascinating to watch before this one, if you are watching this and choose to just see the information before this. But to do a little bit of a recap, I am Erin, and I run F.A.C.E makeup artistry, and so I am a one-person business, and that's beautiful. Because why? Because I can turn on and turn off myself and my business at any one time, and that's so great. So I can make personal decisions to help and assist the business, and I can make professional decisions that help elevate my personal life. All I have to do is talk to myself and figure it out. There are no other people in the way of me making decisions for the betterment of either piece of me. Where that gets a little bit difficult, or where it got difficult, was on social media, because I had a personal account and I had a business account. And I was on Instagram and Facebook. I'm a millennial, so those are kind of the apps that were the engagement pieces at the time. And I think they're still going decently strong, but I know now Snapchat and of course TikTok seems to be the king of content, and YouTube of course. But millennial me also grew my business on social media. So like Facebook and Instagram were big pieces and components in helping me grow my business at the time. Of course, platforms have changed since the infancy of their creations, and so have I. And so it was a little bit of a tough discussion with myself on that decision to leave, because I had to figure out, okay, you feel awful, you as an Erin, Erin, feel awful when you use social media. That was the diagnosis. Now, do you feel awful when you use it personally or professionally or both? Well, the answer was both. Then it was, okay, of course people can make the decision personally to leave. That would take some eyeballs from filtering into the business if I were to leave personally, but whatever, the business account would still be there. Could you have a business account without a personal account at the time? No. Okay. Could you hire someone to run your business account, but you not be on it? That was a tough one, because technically, yes, I could, but there was something deeper, and I call it a knowing. And it's basically something that you cannot deny, and you almost can't explain why it needs to be done. And that was the decision to leave social media professionally and personally, to remove the trace of myself on there as both, not to pass it on to someone else for marketing, but to leave. And so I use the word leave first because, of course, there's a business phase out process, and that was to put in the Instagram and Facebook bios that I am leaving social media. I'm no longer checking these accounts. Here's where you will be able to find me. Not here, because my audience was trained to find me on these platforms. It was proper to let them know that this is where they can no longer find me, but they could find me email, call, text, snail mail to the studio, and of course, get on the website at any time and purchase product or order appointments. Very streamlined, love it to this day. So that first year was just letting people know the process, the phase. And then the second year was a little bit of a different experience, just because the first year was the experience of every single holiday, every single time I would do a sale, there was just an adjustment period. As any kind of grieving or adjustments happen. Then with the second year, the dust had settled. So first year, it was news. People talked about it. It was like built-in marketing to let people know I was leaving several ways of marketing myself. Odd but crazy, but awesome at the same time. Year two, the dust was settled. Old news, wasn't working the same. And it was this limbo period upon reflection of just, all right, you're not on these accounts. They still technically exist and are active, although you're not using them. What are we gonna do about that? So into year three, I made the decision to delete the accounts. So I wasn't ever on them for years prior, but they were still clutter. So I made the decision to delete them. And that was the best feeling I had felt in a very long time. It was kind of like an oh crap moment too, because that decision means you can't revive these. They're gone. Like your username's gone, the content's gone. If you want to ever get back on social media, you have to start over completely. But that action told myself that I was serious about what I was doing, what I was believing in, and what I knew about myself and what I needed for myself and my business. So that was one of the best decisions I ever made, was to solidify that. And now coming into year four, it's like I can finally see the whole journey as one piece. And now I'm emotionally in a place and logistically in a place to where it's like, you couldn't pay me to get back on these, because of the growth that I can see in myself. And it's growth that not everyone else can see. It's great when people can, but there is just something that has cracked in me, and it's taken 4 years to do this whole concept. And yeah, that's where my head is now, is you cannot get me back there. There's no part of me that wants it. Now, the notes. And I'll start out just freestyling. It is a little unfortunate sometimes that I don't hear certain pieces of news. I'm just missing out on some information. So I'll miss when people come into the world and when they leave the world. So I have now subscribed to a lot of funeral homes so I can see the obituaries. Again, I still feel like screen time, it's such a mirror. You know, it's a mortality clock. When you see how long you would be spending on these apps, there's a life to live out there. Sometimes when it comes up in conversation, I'm meeting people all the time. It's a little bit like when you say you're not drinking, or when you're on a diet, or when you're doing a challenge. It's this intimate thing, but also it becomes public knowledge. So this is a personal decision. And yes, I do record a video that I do share. So I have invited that conversation in, but people who don't know me sometimes will ask a question and I'll say, oh, I'm not on social media. I don't have it anymore. And it becomes this curiosity for sure, as I would be too. And then not judgment, but kind of like, how do you live? And I get it. It was very scary to leave. Odd, I know. That's where we are in life, but yeah. All in all though, my favorite takeaway from this is just, I feel so strong in my value for this. I also give myself freedom to change my mind anytime I want. So could there be a time and place where I find myself feeling like I want to be back? Sure. Track record is showing probably not, but we could be back there someday. And the last little piece. So I'm a millennial again. So I am so fortunate that I can remember a time where social media didn't exist. I know how I felt. I know how the world was. I knew what interactions looked like. I knew depth. And part of me, I say partially restored because, of course, I'm not on them, so I'm not distracted in that way. but the rest of the world isn't doing what I'm doing. You know, the rest of the world operates with social media and with these things. So I have more attention to people not paying attention. It's really fascinating to watch people not paying attention. So I'm partially restored because, yeah, I have more time, but that doesn't mean that other people do. Some people don't, you know. So my little last piece of advice would just be, if you feel gross, sad, upset, depressed, competitive, less than, or honestly, if you feel more than, so if you like hate watch, or if you will go look up somebody that you know might be struggling and they post about it and you're like, haha, I feel good now. Either direction, you might consider getting off for a while, or deleting, or leaving, or deactivating, anything. Just experiment with that touch point. I would say, if you're thinking any of those things, do it. Okay. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in real life.